My dear brothers and sisters and my young friends, greetings. My name is Radha Sukhani and I am a medical doctor by profession. Today we are going to talk about cholesterol. Now, cholesterol is a kind of a fat in the body, and it is the kind of fat which is the necessity of life, essential for our health. And our body has great capacity to make cholesterol, good cholesterol. But high cholesterol, harmful cholesterol, has become the biggest disease of modern times, especially in those people who live in big cities. Reason? The food is not holistic, not natural. It is unnatural, factory made. The lifestyle is unbalanced. The process of eating goes from morning until late in the night. Exercise is not enough and sleep is not enough. Now, medications like statins are plenty to lower the cholesterol, but they work temporarily, so they have to be taken from day after day after day. The biggest problem about cholesterol medications, which are statins, is that they have serious side effects, specifically in Asian Indians. So, today we are going to talk about what is this high harmful cholesterol, where does it come from, and what can we do to get rid of it? What are the natural solutions which, unlike drugs, work on the cause and cure the problem? Those of you who are interested in more details on this subject in written can go to our website www.foodlifestylebalance.com. Now, before I move on to actual discussion of cholesterol, I want to give a simple explanation of what cholesterol really is. Now, cholesterol, as I told you, is a kind of a fat in the body, and there are three big fractions of fat in our body. One fraction is HDL, or also called high density cholesterol, which is good cholesterol. It keeps our blood vessels clean and keeps the blood flowing. The level of this cholesterol goes up when we eat natural foods and when we keep active and exercise. You know that's not what is happening nowadays. Now, the second fraction of fat is LDL cholesterol, low density cholesterol. And this cholesterol has a problem that it sticks to the blood vessels. It comes to the body when we are eating unhealthy foods and we are not even exercising or moving to burn out that extra fat we get in our body. So the level of LDL goes up. And when the LDL sticks to the blood vessels, it clogs the blood vessels and prevents the free flow of the blood. Now, the third fraction is called triglycerides. Now, triglycerides are different kind of fat which come to our body when our food is very rich in sugars. So, triglycerides cause overall obesity, diabetes, fatty liver, and also affect our good blood flow. Now, blood flow blockage or blood vessel blockage is a serious problem simply because if there is a blood vessel blockage, you can have fatal diseases such as heart attack and stroke, and nobody wants that. Now, high and harmful cholesterol in medical terms are called dyslipidemia. Lipid is the other name for fat inside the body, and this means harmful, dysfunctional. So dyslipidemia means more of high and harmful cholesterol. Now, when that happens, as I told you, the risk of heart disease goes up. Now, dyslipidemia is a food and lifestyle disease. So if you have other food and lifestyle diseases, just like diabetes, obesity, especially abdominal obesity, or what we call as big belly and fatty liver, then the doctors immediately order a cholesterol test to make sure that you're not suffering from high and harmful cholesterol. Now, we say enduring wisdom in medicine or timeless wisdom has taught us that if we want to cure a disease, we have to remove its cause. So knowledge of the cause of the disease empowers us to solve the problem of the disease. And lack of knowledge makes us powerless. Knowledge gives us confidence and conviction for success, and lack of knowledge sows the seed of doubt. And that is exactly what is happening in modern medicine. Because allopathic medicine and its drugs are focusing only on the symptoms of the disease, not on the cause of the disease. So, for example, if you have diabetes, medication to lower the blood sugar. If you have high blood pressure, medication to lower blood pressure. If you have high bad cholesterol, medication to reduce the cholesterol. If you have acid reflux disease, medication to reduce the acidity. But none of these drugs are working on the cause, which is bad food and unhealthy lifestyle. So the patient remains stuck to the drugs for the rest of their life. And mind you, there is no allopathic medicine in the world which does not have serious side effects. So the responsibility of curing food and lifestyle disease is in your hands. You have to know the cause so that you can cure it. Now, first of all, we have to know where is this cholesterol coming from in our body. And you'll be surprised to know that 80% of the cholesterol in the body is made by our own liver. If you feed the liver with natural plant-based foods, it will only make good cholesterol. But if you feed the liver with factory-made foods, fast foods and junk foods, it is going to make a lot of bad cholesterol. The remaining 20% of the cholesterol in our body comes from saturated fat, which is an unhealthy fat, from meat and dairy, specifically dense dairy such as cheese, paneer, and milk-based sweets. Once the cholesterol is made in the body, it enters the bloodstream and goes and does the job wherever it is needed. So when it is in the bloodstream, that's when, if you have high bad cholesterol, that your blood vessels get blocked. So the health of our blood vessels is totally tied to what we are eating. So if your food is vegan, for example, predominantly you're eating vegetarian food, and this is a wrong notion amongst people that vegetarian food doesn't have enough protein. It is absolutely wrong. The science has proved it now. And in the last 10 years, the concept has changed. So if your food is predominantly vegetarian and your dairy consumption is less, then your blood vessels will remain clean and you don't have to worry about heart attacks and stroke and bad diseases. But if your food is vegetarian, but you're eating a lot of dense dairy, like a lot of paneer, a lot of milk-based sweets, a lot of milk to drink, then your blood vessel will be slightly clogged up. On the other hand, if your food is rich in fast food, junk food, factory-made foods, meat, and a lot of dense dairy, then your blood vessel will be blocked and suffer a heart attack. You can suffer a heart attack at the age of 40 or 50 years. That's what is happening to our young men in the cities. Heart attack at the age of 40 to 50, right smack in the middle when you are at the peak of your professional career. When you are in business and you're making a lot of money and you suffer your heart attack. So imagine it's the food you are eating which is giving you the problem. Now, as I said, liver is our cholesterol making machine. Good or bad cholesterol will depend on what we are eating. So if you are eating natural food, your blood vessels will remain clean because there will not be much of bad cholesterol and harmful cholesterol. But if you're eating factory-made foods, fast foods and junk foods, a lot of meat, a lot of dense dairy, then your blood vessels will be clogged and you will suffer serious diseases. Now, there are 4 modern food poisons which give us the most harmful and unhealthy cholesterol. And these are refined cooking oils, sugary drinks, and that includes fruit juices, refined wheat flour, which comes in the packages on the grocery stores, including maida. Whiter the wheat flour, more dangerous for your health because it's very rich in sugar, and then refined sugar. And you can see that if you go to your neighborhood grocery store, that's what you find. Refined oil, refined wheat flour, and refined sugars. A lot of soda drinks. So that is why in the cities, we have such a big problem with cholesterol, obesity, diabetes, and other food and lifestyle diseases. Now, when the doctors order cholesterol blood levels, they call it lipid profile. And in the lipid profile, they look at all the three fractions of the fat I just told you about. LDL cholesterol, triglyceride level, and HDL cholesterol. And I told you HDL cholesterol is good cholesterol. So, total cholesterol is a mix of good and bad cholesterol. And the doctors want your total cholesterol to be lower, LDL to be lower, triglyceride to be lower, and HDL to be high. But in order for you to make high HDL, you have to eat plant-based natural foods. You have to exercise and remain active for the entire day. Because HDL cholesterol is like a sweeper. It sweeps up our blood vessels. It's a cleanup crew in our body. Now, HDL cholesterol is higher in females because of female hormones and relatively lower in males. That is why at young age, heart attacks are more common in males. But once a woman crosses the age of 50, 55, the risk of a heart attack is same as that of a male. Now, triglycerides, as I told you, come from the sugar we eat. More sugar you eat, more triglycerides your liver will make. And that includes your fruit juices. Fruit juices people think are very healthy, but that is really not true. Because imagine the juice of 4 oranges is in one small glass. You are drinking a lot of sugar, especially fructose sugar, which is known to cause a lot of fat in the liver and produce a lot of fat in the liver. So if you are drinking 2 glasses of orange juice a day, guaranteed that within 6 months to 9 months, you will have a fatty liver. Your triglyceride level will be higher. So imagine what you are eating is what you're getting. Now, how do you remember that HDL is good cholesterol, LDL is bad cholesterol? So just forget about high density, low density. High density means heavy, low density means lighter. So lighter, so it sticks more. But remember H. H means happy cholesterol. L means lethal, dangerous cholesterol. So HDL cholesterol is good cholesterol. LDL cholesterol is bad cholesterol. Easy to remember, H and L. So if you want your blood vessels to be nice and clean, your HDL cholesterol should be high. You're eating right and you're moving. And if your LDL cholesterol is high, your blood vessels are clogged. So what you have to do to fix your arteries? Eat healthy food and keep moving. Now, when the doctors do lipid profile, they are looking at the numbers. And I call the numbers good, bad, and ugly. Good means your total cholesterol is below 200, your LDL cholesterol is below 130, triglycerides are below 150, and your HDL cholesterol is higher. In males more than 40 and females more than 50, then you're safe. However, it is a red flag if your total cholesterol is over 240, your LDL cholesterol is over 160, your triglycerides are over 150, and your HDL cholesterol is below 40 in a male and below 50 in a female. So now you learn already how to read your blood cholesterol report. So as I told you, foods is what determines what kind of cholesterol you have. Good cholesterol or harmful cholesterol. So if your diet is rich in unhealthy fats and a lot of sugars, you'll have bad cholesterol. If your diet is natural, low in sugars, you'll have good cholesterol. Very rarely, 1 in a million, people have what we call as familial bad cholesterol. And that is, as I told you, extremely rare, more common in European population. But sometimes we see them in Indians, but extremely, extremely rarely. The big problem with familial high cholesterol is very early heart attack. A heart attack at the age of 20, 25. If somebody has a heart attack very early, granted they most likely have familial dyslipidemia, a very rare disease. Now, whenever the cholesterol level in the body goes up, some people, not all, some people, occasional people, get yellow spots around their eyes. And that is because of the cholesterol deposits. So if you have a yellow spot around the eye, then think most likely your cholesterol level is high and you should go for cholesterol check. So as I told you, the biggest culprits in bad cholesterol or harmful cholesterol is factory-made foods. And if you go into the grocery stores, that's what you find in big cities. So refined cooking oils, refined sugars, refined wheat flour, which comes for chapatis packed in a little nice looking packet, and maida, which is white flour. As I told you, whiter the wheat flour, more dangerous for you. Same thing, whiter the rice, more bad for you. So in South India, they eat a lot of pony rice, very high incidence of diabetes and bad cholesterol. So rice is good when it is not highly refined. Animal fats give us saturated fat, which go to make bad cholesterol. So large amounts of meat and dairy is not a good idea, especially dense dairy such as cheese, paneer, and milk-based sweets. Now, our doctors, our nutritionists, our dietitians have promoted meat and dairy for high protein. Now, that is the most dangerous way to get a high protein diet. Simply because, say for example, cheese. Some of the cheeses are 80% fat. Paneer, a 100 gram slab, is 18 gram protein but 20 grams saturated dangerous fat. Same is true with meat. So, when it comes to meat and cheese, I say East is going to the West and the West is going to the East. In West, they are now looking for non-meat burgers, bean burger, beyond burger, which is made from pea protein. 30% of the milk industry in the West has been replaced by plant-based milks, such as soya milk, almond milk, oat milk. The biggest market of milk is now oat milk. And it's expected that plant-based milk in 2024 will become $38 billion industry. And what are we doing in India? We are the biggest consumers of milk in the world. So Indians are consuming a lot of milk, and unfortunately, 60% of that milk is contaminated by chemicals. So before you jump for paneer or you jump for dense milk-based sweets, think what you are consuming. Now, what is the slogan of 21st century? And I say slogan of the 21st century is go vegan. Go vegan. And it is all over the world in the West. Just imagine, human population in the world currently is 7.8 billion. And this was reported from Australia, and this was about 2 years back. So the population, last year, I believe, the population was 7.5 billion. And to support that 7.5 billion population, we have birds and animals, 20 billion, 3 times as much. I want to tell you that animal-based protein is not sustainable for our health. It is not sustainable for planet Earth because 40% of the land which is cultivated goes to feed these animals, and 60% of the fresh water on this planet Earth is used by these animals and birds. So what you're doing, drying up your resources to feed yourself. So if you want to preserve your health, you want to preserve the health of planet Earth, you have to cut down on what is coming to you as food from the animals. That is meat and dairy. So when the doctors order cholesterol test, they also look at the calculated risk of heart attacks. And how is that risk calculated? Basically, it is a ratio of total cholesterol and good cholesterol or HDL cholesterol. If this ratio is less than 5, your risk of heart attack is very low. But if this goes above 5, then your risk of heart attack is high. For example, your total cholesterol is 260. And even if your HDL is normal at 40, your risk is 6, which is high. And imagine if you're not eating right and you're not exercising, your HDL is very low. And then this may be 7 or 8. And if you are running 7 or 8, your risk of heart attack is very high. Now, you can also calculate the risk of heart attack from triglyceride levels. So, it is a ratio of total triglycerides divided by HDL cholesterol, and this ratio should be less than 4. And if this number is over 4, then your risk of heart attack is high. For example, I have seen people who have abdominal obesity and fatty liver, their triglyceride level may be as high as over 300. And this risk level is like 7 or 8. Again, very high risk of heart attack. So as I told you, Liver is the main organ which creates bad cholesterol, which creates triglycerides. And in the process of creating that, it itself gets filled with fat. And fatty liver in itself is a serious disease. Now, does that mean that all the fats are bad? I said, no. Natural fat, which comes to us from the plants, is very essential for our body. It is necessary for survival because healthy fat does many things in our body. Number one, all our cell membranes are lipoprotein. There is fat in it to protect. Okay. So, and the next, our brain and nerve tissue is 70 to 80% fat. So if your diet is very low in fat, you won't have strong brain and nerves. That's why people who have very low fat diet run the risk of even dementia. Now, cortisol hormone, which is the hormone of vitality, is cholesterol. It's made from cholesterol. Sex hormones, estrogen, progesterone, testosterone, which keep our vitality and our youth, they are all cholesterol. Satiation and food cravings connected to our fat. If we are eating appropriate amount of fat, then we are satiated and we don't have food cravings because stomach will be full for 7 to 8 hours. That's what our grandparents told us, our grannies told us, that if you don't want to get hungry, eat some fat in your food in the morning. Now, vitamin A, D, E, and K, they are all fat-soluble vitamins. So if your diet is lacking in fats, your diet will be lacking in vitamin A, D, E, and K. That is why nutritional sciences consider fat as a very important nutrient, that the 30% of our calories in our diet should come from healthy fat. There's not a whole lot of emphasis on protein. Protein, 15 to 20% is just fine. And if you look at dietitians, doctors, and nutritionists nowadays, everybody is running high protein, high protein. No, body recycles its own protein. You don't need that much protein. You need carbohydrates and fats coming to us from the plants. Proteins coming to us from the plant-based diet. And medical science has changed its view on food. Simply do not do carb, protein, and fat math. Just go to the quality food, plant-based quality food. If you eat natural fats, cold compressed, cooking oils, your stomach will be full and you won't be hungry for hours. You won't overeat. But if you eat a lot of sugar, a lot of factory-made food, fast foods and junk foods, you'll be hungry all the time. Refined oil will not offer you any advantage at all. It will create a lot of bad cholesterol in your body. So what do doctors do when they have to reverse harmful cholesterol, high cholesterol? They start you on statins. Now, there are innumerable number of statins in the market. And keep in mind that statins will only lower your cholesterol one day at a time. So you have to take them daily, lifelong. It's not a cure. Statins are not a cure. The only cure is you change your food and lifestyle, and you will be able to fix your cholesterol within a matter of 3 to 6 months. That is all. That is all. So if you are first prescribed statins, first try food and lifestyle. And there are only definite indications when statins should be taken, and we'll talk about that. So how do you modify your food and lifestyle to lower harmful cholesterol in the body? Just follow the 5 natural rules. What should we eat, when to eat, how often to eat, when to wake up and sleep, and when to exercise, and how much mobility. Now, why when to wake up and sleep? Simply because even if you lose 1 to 2 hours of sleep a day, or your sleep is not deep and rejuvenating, the level of your stress hormone cortisol goes very high, and you will put on weight. You will retain fat in the body. So high level of cortisol, you have seen people who are given steroids or cortisol for asthma or for any other problem, then they immediately become fat. The same thing happens in the nature when you don't get enough sleep. In fact, there are nearly 20 or 25 studies which have clearly shown that lack of just 1 to 2 hours of sleep will increase your weight by 10 to 15 kilograms. And I have a verse in Hindi for that. गहरी निद्रा का है स्वास्थ्य से गहरा संबंध. अगर निद्रा है कम तो बढ़ जाएगा 10 या 15 किलो वजन. And I hope you will remember that. So do not compromise on your sleep. And what is the best time or best way to get great sleep and rejuvenating sleep is to wake up early in the morning. If you wake up before 7 o'clock, you'll get your natural sleep by 10 or 11, and you will get deep sleep. And the deep sleep comes between 12 and 3. In order to get deep sleep, you have to sleep at least 1 to 2 hours before 12 o'clock. So the best solution to getting good sleep is wake up before 7 in the morning. Exercise and mobility. Very important to keep your cholesterol level in balance. I told you, you want to raise your HDL cholesterol, keep moving. So it's not only exercise. Suppose you do aerobic exercise 3 days in a week. That doesn't cut it. You have to be mobile all the time. And that is why this new formula has come up for the last 5 years and became very popular. 10,000 steps a day. If you're young, you can do 15 to 20,000 steps. And then the aim finally always is that with your 5 natural rules, you aim to reduce 10% of your body weight. And that's what we're going to talk about. Now, we know all that. This picture is right out of Google. You are what you eat. If you are eating primarily plant-based foods, you'll be free of all the food and lifestyle diseases. Obesity, diabetes, high cholesterol, acid reflux disease, name it, even cancer. Because plant-based foods have a lot of nutritional antioxidants which boost our immune system, prevent infection, disease, COVID, name it. You want to boost your immunity, you want to eat plant-based food. You want a lean body, healthy body, plant-based food predominantly. And that's where the world is going. But if your body is full of factory-made foods, fast food, junk foods, a lot of sweet drinks, a lot of alcohol, what will you get? Obesity and all the diseases which come with it, including bad cholesterol. So the key is to eliminate liquid sugar if you want your triglyceride levels low, if you want to cut out your obesity, you will cut out your fat. Sugar is the biggest culprit in abdominal obesity. So as I told you, fruit juices are not healthy because there's too much sugar in one glass. So leave juices only for old, infirm, and children who cannot chew or who have poor digestion. You have to eat whole fruit because whole fruit has fiber in it. And fiber is the key to keeping blood sugar low. Fiber is the key to keeping blood fat level low. Now for ages, for thousands of years, both allopathic medicine and Ayurvedic medicine have told us food is your medicine. Hippocrates, the father of modern medicine, about 2,500 years ago said, let food be thy medicine be thy food. Charak in Ayurveda told us, Ahar Sarva Aushadham. Your food is your complete medicine. So plant-based foods will save you from statin drugs. It will save you from all the modern food and lifestyle diseases. That's where the whole world is headed. Now, if you eat plant-based foods in proper proportion, very important, proper proportion, then you will get what your body needs. Now, what is the proper proportion? 40% of your calories have to come from vegetables, 10%, 5 to 10% from fruit. Protein, predominantly plant-based protein. Don't get wrong that plant-based proteins are second. And as I told you, the Western world is going to veggie burgers. They are going to beyond burgers, meatless burgers. Then why are we confused in East that we have to eat meat and dairy to increase our protein? Our lentils and legumes, when eaten with appropriate grains, give us complete, perfect protein. Grains. Do not go for refined grain flours, but whole grains and variety of grains such as wheat, millets, buckwheat, amaranth, sorghum, and everything. We have to go back 50 years in what grains we were eating. No more packaged wheat flour. Go back 50 years on what kind of wheat flour, what kind of ancient grains were you eating. That's where you stay. And finally, healthy fat. Healthy fat comes to us only from natural plant sources, such as cold compressed mustard oil, cold compressed sesame oil, cold compressed coconut oil, olive oil for Mediterranean. But the olive oil which is sold in India is really not pure olive oil. It is cooking olive oil, which is 95% contaminated with refined factory made oils. A fistful of nuts and seeds, whichever kind, whichever you can afford, will give you healthy protein as well as healthy fat. Omega-6 fats, omega-3 fats. You've heard a lot about omega-3 fats. So, omega-3 fats come to you from nuts. Now, the advantage of plant-based food is it is low in calories. Imagine a plate full of vegetables and lentils and other plant-based foods will be low in calories, and it will keep you full. On the other hand, if your plate has one medium-sized cake or two gulab jamuns, your stomach will not be full, but you have already taken 500 calories worth of food. The food which comes to us from the plants, natural food, is low in sugar. It doesn't have any saturated fats like meat and dairy has. It is rich in fiber. Protein is alkaline, and our body is alkaline. The protein which comes to us from meat and dairy is acidic protein. And plant-based foods are rich in vitamins, rich in minerals like calcium and iron, and rich in disease-fighting antioxidants. Disease-fighting antioxidants are not seen in meat and dairy. They are only present in plant foods. That is why to boost immunity, if you want antioxidants, you have to go on plant-based diet. Now, when to eat? The best time to eat is daylight hours. Because during the late daylight time, our digestive system is functioning the best and it is moving. It's moving. After 10 o'clock, our digestive system slows down. So anything you throw in it after 10 o'clock is not being digested properly. You'll get indigestion, bloating, acid reflux, and all kinds of problems. So in a 24-hour day cycle, if you spend 16 hours from morning 7 to 10 o'clock eating food and only 8 to 10 hours in fasting period, then you'll always be overweight and obese. On the other hand, in a 24-hour day cycle, if you are eating 10 to 12 hours and fasting in the night 12 to 14 hours, you will never get fat. And in fact, as I will tell you, the best way to reduce weight is to eat in an 8-hour window and to fast 16-hour window. It is way better than low-calorie diets and extreme exercise plans. Now, why eating late is a major health problem? Simply because if you eat after 8 o'clock, your body doesn't need any energy. So whatever sugar energy you are eating, it goes to make fat. If you eat late, as I told you, your intestines are not moving fast. After 10 o'clock, they go into rest rejuvenate mode. And then when you put food in the stomach at 9 or 10 o'clock, what do you get? Indigestion and acid reflux, because food is sitting there. It's not moving along. And then poor sleep. Why? Because when we eat for 2 hours, our stomach temperature is higher because more blood is flowing. In Ayurveda, we call it Jathar Agni. So when there is Jathar Agni, our core temperature is high, then we cannot get deep sleep. Because in order to get deep sleep, our core temperature has to go down by 1 degree centigrade. That is only possible when you are sleeping 3 hours after your meal. Now, how often to eat? I say that in the last 40 or 50 years, humans have forgotten what to eat, when to eat, how often to eat. Imagine, and all that transformation has occurred after 1970. Before 1970, you'll be surprised to know that the incidence of obesity was less than 1%, diabetes less than 5%. There were no early heart attacks at the age of 40 and 50. But what has happened since in the last 50 years? Instead of eating 2 to 3 meals a day, before 1970, entire world population ate 2 to 3 meals a day. And now people are eating multiple meals. Our dietitians are promoting eat every 2 hours. That is wrong. Our body is not designed for that. There has to be 6 to 7 hours window between 2 meals. Feeding duration is 10 to 12, used to be before 1970, 10 to 12 hours, daylight hours. but now feeding duration is 14 to 16 hours. We are stuffing ourselves with food whole day long, 3 major meals and 3 snacks and multiple rounds of sugary drinks. So that is why there's so much illness in the world. Now, what is healthy fat? What kind and how much? As I told you, healthy fat is fat which comes to us from plants. Cold compressed, not factories, plants. Cold compressed mustard oil, cold compressed sesame oil, cold compressed raw coconut oil. Now about 10% ghee. Why ghee? Simply because although ghee is saturated fat, it is great for digestion and it's an immune booster. If you come to America and go to any organic food store, just like Whole Foods, you will see shelves of ghee, you will see shelves of coconut oil, you will see shelves of sesame oil. Why? Because they're moving there. And what are we buying in India, in our big cities? Refined canola oil, refined olive oil, because olive oil which is sold in India is refined. Or people who can afford and very rich, avocado oil, fancy avocado oil. Your avocado oil may cost you 10 times as much as regular oil or even 20 times more, but it offers you no greater advantage than mustard or sesame oil. So go back to your roots. Go back to what your ancestors ate 50 years ago. Now, when the doctors prescribe statins, they prescribe it for 2 reasons. Number one, statins lower the bad cholesterol or overall level of the cholesterol. At the same time, they reduce the inflammation in the blood vessels. But imagine, in our traditional spices, we have such good herbs which lower the inflammation in the body, not only in blood vessels, all over the body. And these are called antioxidant herbs, which also boost the immunity, such as cloves, ginger, turmeric, cinnamon, almonds with omega-3 oils, walnuts with omega-3 oils, arjun ki chal, amla, richest source of vitamin C, even saffron, very rich in antioxidants. So we have plenty in our culture, in our herbs and spices to promote our health. Now, as I told you, the best and the most consistent way to reduce weight is time-restricted eating. In the last 50 years, billions of dollars every year are spent on low-calorie diets and intense exercise plans by gym trainers. And what is the result? Obesity epidemic keeps growing. The weight does come down, but within 3 to 6 months, it comes right back. And it comes more than it was before, simply because low-calorie diets and intense exercise plans don't work. What works, and the science has shown it in the last 10 years of research, is time-restricted eating schedule. So if you want to lose weight, the best way to do is eat the normal calories, healthy food within 8 to 10 hours of window. And keep yourself in the fasting mode the remaining time of 14 to 16 hours. Once you hit the mark of 16 hours fasting, you will be amazed that your body's insulin level will be so low that you will never be hungry. You will have no food cravings because there is a high level of insulin from frequent eating, from unhealthy eating, which is the reason that we are hungry all the time and we are overeating. So when you have high cholesterol, harmful cholesterol, the doctors prescribe you statin medications. But the safety of these medications are in question, especially in Asian Indians. The 2 organs in the body systems which are affected by statins is liver, muscles and nerves. You can have severe muscle damage with statins and you have to pick it up very early. If you have muscle pains, you have to know right away it is coming from statins. So the statins increase the risk of diabetes, increase the risk of liver damage, increase the risk of muscle damage. It may cause even dementia and early cataracts. Now, why there is so much of muscle pain and nerve problem with statins, especially amongst Indians, is because they lack an enzyme called CoQ10. So if you're starting on statins, it is a good idea to take supplements of CoQ10, and there are many, many brands available in the market. Now, when do doctors prescribe statins? High cholesterol. And I tell you, if your cholesterol comes high, immediately go to food and lifestyle modification. And within 3 to 6 months, guaranteed, your cholesterol will become normal, perfectly normal. The doctors also prescribe you statins if you have a high calculated risk of heart attack, over 5, over 4, if your risk runs in the range of 7 or 8 number, as I told you in calculation, then they will tell you to take cholesterol. It's okay to start with the statins, a cholesterol lowering medication. But keep in mind that if you change your food and lifestyle, you will be able to cut down your dose of statins and help yourself. If you have suffered a heart attack, then the doctors will certainly start on statins. Again, your aim is to change your food and lifestyle so that your cholesterol level goes down and you do not have to remain on high doses of statins. Now, as I said all along, the best solution for high cholesterol, best solution for every food and lifestyle disease, may it be obesity, may it be diabetes, may it be acid reflux, may it be fatty liver disease, is natural solution. And if somebody asks me in one line, what is the natural solution? I will say, stay connected to the energy of the sun. So eat the food which grows under the energy of the sun, eat during daylight hours, and do not eat more than 2 to 3 times a day. There is a saying in our Swasthya Mahavidya, our ancient Swasthya Mahavidya, अगर खाएं दिन में 1 बार तो आप बनेंगे योगी, खाएं दिन में 2 बार तो आप 2 या 3 बार तो आप बनेंगे भोगी, अगर खाएंगे दिन में 3 या ज्यादा बार तो बनेंगे रोगी, खाएंगे दिन में 4 या ज्यादा बार तो बनेंगे महारोगी. So keep in mind, more you eat, more sick you get. Take care of your sleep. You know the wake up time. If wake up time is before 7 o'clock, you'll get good sleep, you'll get deep sleep. And do not forget your activity and exercise. Keep moving. Just aerobic exercise 3 times a day will not, 3 times a week will not do. You have to do activity every day, keep moving, and exercise regularly in the morning, even if it is 30 minutes a day. Ayurveda gave us the biggest secret to health. Ahar sarvaushadham. Your food is your best medicine. Fasting is the best medicine. Langanam param aushadham. If you follow that, you will not fall a victim to any food and lifestyle disease, may it be high harmful cholesterol, may it be heart disease, may it be diabetes, may it be obesity, may it be acid reflux, may it be cancer, and so on and so forth. So our ancient civilization gave us the solution. So go back to it. Thank you very much.